I'm so excited. We finally made it here. Took us some time to coordinate.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. So maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Danielle Vital, and I am a devotee of these beautiful human beings. Yeah, my specialty is relationship design is what I say. So I help couples navigate differences of what they want in terms of what they want in the bedroom and what they want in terms of their relationship structure. So I work a lot with monogamy, non-monogamy, high sex drive versus low sex drive, someone who's kinky with someone who's more tantric and wants something slower. And so much of it is communication,
right?
Just making sure that they are actually able to talk about their desires and needs without shame and dealing with disappointment, which is such a huge thing I've gotten from you and Celeste.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love it.
Thank you for that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what I really want to talk with you today is about your journey.
Sure.
From walking on mountains in the Sierra right, into becoming a very successful sex and relationship coach. Yeah. You have like how many followers on TikTok?
Like 400,000.
400,000. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I want to hear about your journey.
Sure.
What made you to decide it?
Sure. Well, so much of why I'm a sex and relationship coach is growing up with shame. I went to Catholic school for 14 years and just always felt like something was wrong with me because I have a high sex drive and I'm non-monogamous, but I didn't know that was a thing when I was, in
Catholic school.
In Catholic school, obviously.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. So I just was always filled with shame, and that propelled me on this wild journey of self-exploration where I lived on communes and I hiked these long distance hiking trails. And through all of that, I met someone who actually went to high school with Celeste up in Sebastopol. And I was like, I'm really passionate about like new ways of thinking about relationships and sex. And they were like, you should meet these women. And so they forwarded me your email list. And I was like, oh, like something just hit me in my gut. I was like, that's it for sure. That's the thing I need to do. So, I kind of was just tracking you two for a while. And I had a lot of insecurity before I became a coach because I thought, oh, well, my relationships aren't perfect. So therefore, how could I ever become a coach? And then like through all of my journeying and facing my shame, I just realized, hey, like I don't have to be perfect to be a coach. And in fact, it's helpful to be a coach and not like try to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so perfect. Like, no, like
totally right.
We're all figuring it out together. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just like knowing exactly, oh, I have it all together is just kind of like inherently shaming because I had all those friends that were like, oh, I have it all together. Not my friends anymore.
No.
It always makes you feel like something's wrong with you.
Like who can relate to that?
You found Somatica and you came to, was it still at Celeste's house or we already
No,
moved
it was at Rouge in 2018. Well, I went to an intro session at Celeste's house.
I remember that. And then you went hiking again.
Yeah.
You decided to come back to a training.
Yeah.
You came back as an advanced student and then you got certified. I remember getting certified. I got such an amazing session with you. It was awesome.
I know. And I felt so close to you too. That was so sweet.
For the certification. And you took also lots of advanced trainings with us.
Yeah.
Like everything we
I'm a total junkie, obviously. So I'm excited for the next things I can participate in.
I love it. And you keep asking me, Danielle, what's next?
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
So what inspired you? And then you developed I know that when you were in the training, you constantly, like, you were always inspired about designing, relationship design, like helping people navigate monogamy, non-monogamy, and all those different options.
Totally.
And then I remember you getting on TikTok.
Yeah.
Tell me.
TikTok's awesome.
Tell me. I want to hear everything about TikTok. Because I have a little bit of a camera fear this way and just like feels like intense to be on TikTok.
Totally.
I want to hear everything.
It's like anything where like it's intense at first and then you just get used to it. That's been my experience. You just got to throw yourself into it and just hope for the best. At the beginning of, so before the pandemic, I was mostly getting referrals through you and Celeste and working with men in person in the South Bay, which was great. But then when the pandemic happened, it was like, well, okay, I'm going to have an online business, which I've been wanting to do. I remember telling you,
you always wanted to do it.
I want to have like online programs and be able to scale the business. And so I was like, okay, I guess that's what's happening. So I started doing, I was like, how are people going to find out about me? And at the beginning of the pandemic, all these people were talking about this thing, TikTok. And it turns out it's such a great way to go viral. And it's just all about, like you say in the marketing, portion of Somatica, are you excited about telling your story? I mean, I can give you some like practical tips of like how to use TikTok, but what's more interesting is like, are you really excited about what you have to say?
Because what doesn't turn you on? Why do that? Why bother?
Yeah. Like I think when you use social media, like, oh, I got to get more clients. It's like, screw that. I mean,
totally.
It's going to translate. They're going to know. So just like pay for some ads. If you're really excited about telling your story, then like social media is awesome. Well, some social media like TikTok, because it's so new, it's such a great way to go viral. But I'm sure in like 5 years, it'll be like Facebook where your post gets like 2 views or whatever. So yeah, it's just, it's so fun to have a place where I can talk about like a more alternative view of relationships, which, is so much bigger than non-monogamy or, it's just like the way you and Celeste think about things. There's so many ways this could look sexually or relationally, and it's just all about figuring out what's right for you. I love helping people think about that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we live in such a shamey society, and like they need more messages about like just be yourself
in every channel possible, right? So you are our amazing graduate who totally conquered TikTok.
And there's some other people like Stariel Hope is doing pretty well on TikTok, I've seen.
Yeah, she's also a Somatica grad.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. So, people have this fantasy that marketing is either really hard and not attainable. And what's your take on marketing? What do you think?
I mean, I think you have to pick the channel you feel excited about, like I was saying. So if you're really excited about doing podcasts, then do that. I would say pick one channel you actually like and then stick with it. So I think it's a mix of actually enjoying it and wanting to tell your story, but then there's also the element of consistency, and there's some discipline required for that. But at this point, I used to post twice a day, and like
I remember at the beginning of the pandemic,
oh my gosh,
you were like twice a day,
every day.
How many hours you spent on?
Well, too many. But I learned, And now I do like every few days, and it's fine because I've like gotten the momentum that like I still get a lot of coaching applications. So I think you just have to commit to something for like a year and just give it your all. And then like people start finding out about you.
And then you don't need to work so hard.
Yeah. And you start like knowing what you want to do and who your target audience is, so you can point ads. I would say don't pay for ads till you really know who you want to talk to. Put yourself out there on one social media platform that you really like, and just talk about what you're into and see who responds, and start working with people. And as you get to know who you like, then you can pay for ads that target those people.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
What was the thing that was like the most inspiring for you as you're going through this, professional journey? Yeah.
Most inspiring? I mean, I think just seeing couples transform, because I was working with people one-on-one, which was wonderful, but now I'm working with couples and I like it so much more because you see so much momentum and growth with two people for me in a way that I just find so beautiful. So that's really inspiring to me, to see their relationships getting better and to see their communication getting better. And I think also just seeing my own resilience, because like I fail all the time. Like I'll do like a launch and I'll try a launch of a program a certain way, and like, 2 people will join, and I was hoping for like 20 or whatever. And so it's not a total failure, but I'm like crushed. And then I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. Like I'm iterating, I'm experimenting, I'm learning. I think I inspire myself to keep going by being like, it's not a failure. It's a part of the process.
Yeah. And I think this is like a big piece of like being able to really like sustain and grow in your practice, because again, people have this fantasy that you're successful because you've done everything right.
No. Oh my God.
You're successful because you failed multiple times. It's to recover from those experiences that didn't go so well and really learn and take it to the next level.
Right. Like not taking it personally and being like, okay, what about this didn't work? Not like I'm bad or I'm a failure. So that was a growth edge for me to not take it too personally and just be like, okay, gonna try something else next time.
Yeah. And I know I've been like in contact with you throughout, and I always hear like how you like reimagining and coming up with new things.
Yeah. I mean, you too. It's just, that's what it is to be a business owner. And I think we're fed this myth, especially in the online business world. It's like, just, you're just going to be an instant success if you follow this step-by-step, whatever. And it's like, you have to find your own way, and it can take time, and you're always going to be iterating.
Yeah.
So like, what is success to you?
Totally. And I love that you're saying it, because there are lots of programs there that sell you just do 1, 2, 3 and you'll succeed instantly, and it's actually not real, not true. So I think this video is mostly going to go to lots of people that are interested in Somatica, interested in to seeing like what does it mean to be a sex coach, and what kind of a career I can get out of it. So I wonder if
an awesome one. A really fun one.
That's awesome. And I'm curious about, like you've been around, other sex coaches and like what felt like very special to you in terms of like going through the Somatica journey?
It's just the most amazing group of people. The education is so amazing. I was telling Danielle, my partner went through a more traditional therapy training and felt like it was not a great education at this particular school. And I think there's just so much bad education out there. And going through the Somatica training, my mind was blown every single day.
Oh,
oh my God, so amazing. I think some concepts that we just don't think about in our culture, like how do you deal with disappointment? We talked about that earlier. How do you deal with shame? Just so many unspoken things that we're not supposed to feel in relationship, or else it means that relationship is wrong. And it's like, you two have such a non-shaming, open-minded framing of how to think about things that are hard.
Yeah.
And that was so mind-blowing for me. And also the emphasis on experiential learning and getting people into their feelings as quickly as possible.
As fast as possible.
Is so important. It's so important, because you can't do real work, especially in like an hour and a half session, unless you just like try to get them through their story as quickly as possible and get right to the heart of things.
Yes. And you become so efficient, huh?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, you talked to me a lot about how Somatica also, like the people, the alumni, the group of people.
So great.
Right?
Such an amazing community. Yeah.
I love
people are incredible. I mean, the people who choose to do it are just these like incredible, open-minded people who care about relationships. So they're amazing people to be in relationship with, colleague-wise and friendship-wise. And people just doing such cool stuff. People having such different focuses and helping different kinds of people. And everyone loves helping people.
I know. I feel like that too, right? Like everywhere you go, I feel like so drawn to like start to meet Somaticans all over.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's one way to think about marketing too, is like, you are putting out free content that helps people. Like, not only are you like selling your business, but how can you create content that's changing the world? Because people need this information.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just a waste of time, or it's not just like a business thing to get you money. You can change the world if you are really helping people let go of shame and like face their disappointment and come to terms with what their authentic desires are and communicate about that. So I want to encourage everyone to do more of that. And the community of people who are involved in Somatica are amazing.
I love Somaticats.
Yeah. Danielle doesn't even have friends who aren't Somaticats anymore,
true.
right?
Not anymore. Yeah. Any other words of wisdom to our grads or people that like starting their career in this field?
Just keep going. It takes a little bit of time to really find your footing with starting a business. That's just like starting any business. It can take 3 years to 2 or 3 years, maybe even 5 years. Just don't give up. Like, it's okay to fail or to have a failure, and just learn from it and keep trying.
Yeah. Sometimes I even say, if people tell you that it's easier or faster, don't believe them.
Oh yeah. Totally. I think it's like one of those things where if you're really passionate about this, then you just need to keep coming home to that passion, like when things feel hard, and take some rest, take a break, and then come back to it, like take a vacation, and then keep going. Because when you keep going, you will have success. It might not look like what you thought it was going to look like.
Right.
But
did you ever think you're going to be like a TikTok star?
No. Like, who knows? I'm just like scanning the field for opportunities and just rolling with it. And we were just talking about that earlier, how much we are still iterating. You two as business owners for years.
Totally.
It's like
forever.
Yeah.
It's always like looking for new things, or like what will make things better or more interesting and also more like inspiring for me to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
And at the end of the day, would you ever want to be employed by someone else? No. So if you want to really be self-employed, you got to just keep going.
Keep going.
Well, another thing I love about you that I do with my clients is I feel like you're just a straight to the heart of things person. Just it's been quite a journey for me to not overly babysit or caretake my clients, you know, to be like, look, like you're avoiding this feeling, like let's get there. You know, that's been really interesting for me. And so that's another like pearl of wisdom I've gotten from you is just like, don't be, you know, you're not their friend. Like they're paying you to tell them how it is, you know, and not like giving them advice, but just being like, yo, you're avoiding the feeling. Like, we got to go there. Like, respectfully, stop it with the avoidance. And let's do this work. Yeah. So
I love that. Yeah. Israeli inspiration.
Thank you. Yeah. Helping my like little California niceness. Just get rid of that.
And, you know, I want to appreciate you so much. And I'm so proud of you because seeing you like grow and bloom and blossom, like you're an amazing professional. And
Thank
you're just like, and you know, after this, she is actually like going to walk me through TikTok, which I'm terrified of. She's going to give me tips of how to do it. It's going to be fun. Do you want to like let us know where people can find you?
Sure. Sure. I'm on Love with Janelle at all the socials, and my name is Jane with an L. Also, I think just pick one is really my best advice. Just pick one.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you. So excited.